have not had playoff experience in a long time. Nikita Gusev, 27. Again, not much. Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, Pavel Zacha, 21, 21, 22. Blake Coleman is a depth player, 28. Dimon Severson is still a new player, 25. Travis Zajac is easily their only veteran presence on the forwards. And that means, what did Jack Hughes have to learn from? He had to learn himself. He had to go through the battles himself. Because this New Jersey team was very young. And there was no veteran presence that could really help him out to step into his own game. So then, what has changed in Jack Hughes' game this season? Well, you might remember, last season, he was trying to make a lot of D, and he was trying to get around things, because that's his only thing. Puck handling is what allows him to, go over players and get into the offensive zone, where he can do his best to make moves and do playmaking and or score. Defensively, he still has a lot to work on his game. As usual, rookies do struggle defensively. But looking at offensively, that first season, he couldn't adjust to all of the big bodies of the NHL. He would routinely get hit, and he wouldn't be able to get back up and avoid the hits and have the smart IQ plays that only comes with experience. But this season, out of the games we've seen so far, versus Boston, he had a 3.9 and another 2.9, something like that. And he has just been a lot better on the ice because he has been everywhere. And that's what a guy like him relies on. It's his speed and it's his puck skills. It's not his, body. And for those types of players, they have to adjust to the NHL. And that's the last reason. But also, looking at one last reason. So, you might think 21 points. Oof, garbage. Even with the factors that I've mentioned, that is still horrendous. But, honestly, when we look at some deeper statistics on why his rookie season was so bad, then you actually see that he had one of the worst scoring percentages, and one of the worst shooting percentages per analysis and per shots taken. Why did he ultimately fail? Is because of these, is because some of these is because, why he failed. So, he was also comparable to Patrick Stefan, who is one of the best. He was the first top selection of the cap era to score fewer than 30 points. But, let's see. So, look at this. Per analysis, per some in-depth analysis, let's look at Jack Hughes. So you see that his power play, his isolated impact on goals for and expected goals against was the worst in the NHL. And his finishing, measured by goals scored above expected, was among the absolute worst in the league. As were his goal scoring rates, actually. So he was getting scoring chances for a team when he was on the ice. But in reality, Jack Hughes was actually not that bad. Even though he shot so much, and even though he tried his best to help out his team, the shots just weren't going in. And you can see this. Here, I'll show you the stats. You can see them yourselves. And that's just yet another reason why Jack Hughes failed in his rookie season. Because he actually didn't do that bad offensively. He gave many, many chances for the Devils, but it didn't lead to him scoring or him really assisting. And Jack Hughes might, again, he was above average at getting scoring chances. And while he did only have 9 points in a 5v5 home ice advantage, you see that Jack Hughes is a dynamic player, right? He's a fun player to watch, but he needed to see these skills, he needed to see how the NHL functioned, and he needed to adjust. That's what went wrong about Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes was always going to be a high upside, risky pick, at least for the first season. It was Capo Caco who was supposed to be guaranteed to be amazing. And we see that, you can see the difference between USHL defensemen and NHL defensemen. But he is electrifying. And with his world-class agility and skill with the puck, it is no wonder that maybe this season or next season he breaks out as a point-per-game player. Not this season necessarily. This season I think he'll take steps to advance this game. Maybe score 30, 35, 40 points in only a 50-game season, because it's a 56-game season. Maybe we see him score 40 points. But next season, definitely, I can see Jack Hughes climbing the ranks, becoming a point-per-game player, and being one of the best young players. Because actually, when you look at it, his speed, his physical strength, his skill with the puck, it all reminds me of a young Patrick Kane. And while I know it's not comparable to compare a legend of Patrick Kane's caliber of being so good with a young rookie, that's what Jack Hughes reminds me of. That's how electrifying he is. And if he adjusts his game like he has so far in this season, who knows what he can be. Because in some cases, his instincts did pay off, and he did deliver a sick pass. But in others, he panicked, and the place goes the other way. But now, Jack Hughes will be adjust, because the pucks just didn't go in. His impact on ice goals were horrific, but his driving play was pretty good. His individual shooting percentage, a 2.4%, ranked 250. On-ice shooting percentage, 5%, 240. Teammate shooting, 6%, 214. Individuals goals above expected, minus 7.2. On-ice goals above expected, minus 12.6. So you see that he actually was extremely, extremely unfortunate this season, and teammate goals above expected were minus 5.4. So actually a more comparable season would have been maybe a 19-goal season and 10, 20 assists for Jack Hughes in that rookie season. And if you don't believe me, just look at the stats. You can see here, I think I've pointed out why Jack Hughes failed. The perception is wrong. Jack Hughes' rookie season was actually not as bad as people think. People just had extreme high expectations for him. And he was on a horrible team, and he did not get lucky. And also, he his team was terrible. His team didn't have veteran presence. There was COVID, and he got extremely unlucky. And you can see this again when you jump into the really deep stats. Look, the lead the rush. His transition play was extraordinary. Something as per he finished 3rd in possession exits per 60 minutes and 12th in possession entries per 60 minutes. Dumped the puck in less frequently than anybody not named Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon. He was carrying the puck at an extreme level. He entered the zone super well. And he had so many shots. He was good in zone exits. He was good in zone entries. And he was really, really, really doing his best. But the pucks did not go in, and when he was leading the rush, his team did not help by joining him in the rush. I don't blame Jack Hughes for his rookie season. I really don't. And that's why my predictions are as high as they are. Because I honestly see that he is going to be one of the great young players in 2 years. Because you can see that he's made an adjustment. And you can see that Jack Hughes is getting better as time goes on. In 2 years, he becomes a point-per-game player. He adjusts to the NHL, and people will forget about his rookie season. If you guys do not agree with me, leave a comment down below. If you guys agreed with my take, then also leave a comment below. And make sure you comment, which player do you want to see next on a player profile, a player showcase? Well, that is it for this video with your boy, Legend3245. And I think I've done enough to prove why Jack Hughes' rookie season wasn't as bad as people think. So, if you made it all the way to the end, please subscribe, like, comment, and hit the notifications bell. That really helps me for future videos. I appreciate all of your help, and thank you so much for listening. Jack Hughes his rookie season wasn't bad, and he is as good as people thought. Oh, and one last reason. Jack Hughes is a brother of Quinn Hughes. When you live in a family which has hockey talent, and Quinn Hughes being so amazing, it's no wonder Jack Hughes failed. Not only did he have expectations from the fans, he had expectations from his family, he had expectations on himself, he had a ton of pressure, and all of these circumstances combined, I think, lead to why Jack Hughes didn't do as well as people were expecting in his rookie season. But for all we know, in the 20 games left in the season, had COVID not happened, Jack Hughes might have tore it up. He might have got 20 more points, and we never would have talked about this. So, boys, thank you for watching. And remember, the next time you see a first overall pick, don't give him such high expectations. Because expectations, they don't give you anything. Just watch the player and see how he grows. What's more important is growth. Nico Hischier did not grow. Capo Caco has not grown. But Jack Hughes had an immense offseason with a chip on his shoulder, and he is out for goals and assists, and he is out to prove himself that he was capable and he was worthy of the first overall pick. Thank you so much.